Alright boys and girls, I hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, today boys, I want to talk about all the games that I've been playing in January. I saw like a YouTube video the other day, and I can't remember who it was by, but he does a similar thing where he talks about all of the games that he plays every single month, and I was like, that's a really good idea, I could do that for the second channel. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today boys. We're just going to be talking about some of these games I've been playing, you know, just nice little chill video, nothing fancy, and yeah, we'll just crack on with it, I suppose. So I feel like I need to preface things, lads, by saying that most of my time this month has been spent playing Tekken games. Obviously in the last video, I talked about literally every single Tekken game, okay, so yeah, that was where like most of my time was spent, and I'm not going to be talking about all those Tekken games again, so if you are interested, okay, check out that video, okay, if you want to see like my opinions on some of those Tekkens. But I will pretty much cover every single other game that I've played this month, okay, and we'll start off with Persona 5 Dancing. So I'm not going to lie to you guys, I didn't really play this game that much this month, okay, I actually played most of it in December. I pretty only played this game like maybe a couple of days of January, and basically what I was doing was just getting a few trophies.
This trophy's for you!
I decided that I was going to go for a platinum trophy with this game, which I very rarely do. I literally never do that with any of my games. I usually just beat them and that's it. But I decided to go for the platinum trophy for Persona 5 Dancing because honestly, there's not like a great deal of content with this one. Unlike Persona 4 Dancing, where you've got like a full-on story mode, this one doesn't really have that. So in order for me to like get my money's worth of this game, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for the platinum trophy because honestly, it was quite easy. So I decided to do that, okay? So I was just getting a few trophies and yeah, I ended up really enjoying this game. It was a super good rhythm game. I'm not like super good at rhythm games, but I found this one pretty manageable, and yeah, I just had a really good time with Persona 5 Dancing. Nothing too ridiculous, not the best game I've ever played, and in fact, I wouldn't even say it's the best Persona Dancing game. I think Persona 4 Dancing is a lot better, but the songs are absolutely banging, okay, and I still had a really good time, okay. I did get that platinum trophy, and yeah, I would recommend it if you like your rhythm games or Persona 5. I mean, it is a good game. Okay, boys, this next one I want to talk about is one that I haven't played like a super duper amount, okay, and that is going to be Futurama on PS2. The reason I haven't played this a super amount is I'm actually playing this one with my older brother. My older brother, like when he comes around my house, we usually just kick it and play some games, and we were gonna play Code Veronica. That was the plan. My brother's got a Code Veronica on the Dreamcast, and we were gonna play through that, but for some reason it just wasn't working. Every time we try to play Code Veronica, it just continuously crashes, okay, so we couldn't really play Code Veronica, unfortunately, and my older brother was like, why don't we just play Futurama, because we both used to have this game as a kid, as kids, and we really enjoyed it back in the day, so we thought, why not like play through the entire game, because we've never done that, you know, we got like sort of halfway through it back in the day, but we never finished it. So yeah, we haven't played like a great deal of this game, lads, but we are a few levels in, okay, and honestly, it's actually not bad, okay, it's not the best game I've ever played, but it is actually really good, okay, and I got a lot of nostalgia for this one. I love the show Futurama, it's obviously hilarious, and yeah, I'm just glad we started playing through this, you know, because again, like, it's not actually a bad game at all, and again, I've got like a lot of nostalgia for it. Some of the levels are just like, I don't know, there's a lot of charm to it. It really feels like an episode of Futurama in a video game. It's really cool. Not to mention the fact it's actually pretty funny. There's some pretty funny cutscenes in this game.
Oh, Fuff! It's not like this is the end of the world as we know it.
This is the end of the world as we know it.
Has anyone ever noticed how Fry always seems to turn on the TV at just the right moment?
So yeah, we're not like super far into this one, but yeah, we're maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 levels in, and yeah, it's actually a really decent game. So yeah, we'll be slowly playing through this one, I imagine, over the next few months whenever my brother decides to come round, and yeah, I guess I'll let you guys know if this game is going to get better or worse or whatever, but yeah, so far so good. Okay, the next game on the list of games I've been playing in January is going to be The Last of Us Part 2. I don't feel like I need to talk about this one too much because I did dedicate an entire video to it on this channel, so if you do want to see my thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2, then check out that video. What I will say though, lads, is it's definitely not as bad as some people make out, nor is it as good as others make out. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it's a really good game. Not like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, but definitely not like a pile of shit like some people seem to think it is. And the story definitely has some good moments in there, but for me, like, the gameplay for this game is absolutely 10 out of 10. Like, the gameplay is really good. But yeah, if you are interested in more of my thoughts on this game, then again, I did do a video on it on this channel. I uploaded it like a couple of weeks ago, so yeah, check that video out if you want to know more. Okay boys, the next game I want to talk about is going to be 13 on the PS2. Okay, this is a first-person shooter, and this is a really great game. Okay, I really am enjoying this one. I'm not quite finished with it yet. I'm really close though. I think I've probably only got like a few more missions left, and honestly, I'm really enjoying this one. Okay, this is a really decent PS2 shooter. Okay, definitely one of the better ones out there. And the one thing with this game that really stands out is the art style. The art style to this game is absolutely incredible. It's definitely the best part about it. It reminds me a lot of the show Archer, if anyone's ever seen that. It's got a very similar style in terms of like how it's presented.
God damn it! Who the hell drilled my box? So we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore.
And yeah, it's just a really decent first-person shooter, lads. Not perfect, I wouldn't say. It definitely has a few flaws that I will touch on, but all in all, I do really enjoy it, okay? It's just a classic first-person shooter with a really cool art style. So yeah, speaking of some of those things that I don't love about this game, unfortunately, this game has like those instant fail, like stealth missions. I absolutely hate those. I don't know if anyone else is like in the same boat as me, but instant fail stealth missions are so frustrating at times. Like when I'm playing this game, I just want to shoot people. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything crazy. I just want to shoot people's heads and have fun. But with this game, it does like quite a few of these stealth missions, and if you like get caught, they'll set the alarm. You have to do the whole mission again. It can be pretty annoying. Also, this game for some reason has like really like touchy like fall damage. Like you'll jump from like a small height and you'll lose health. Like it's really sensitive to fall damage. And again, that's just something that like kind of irritated me, especially when you're like near ladders. Like you'll be on ladders, and it's one of those PS2 first-person shooters where it's really like tricky to go down ladders without falling. Sometimes when you go down ladders awkwardly and you'll like fall and then you'll lose health, that can be really fucking irritating.
Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
But yeah, other than that, lads, honestly, I really enjoyed this game, okay? It's a really decent first-person shooter. The presentation is by far the best part about it. It's super fun, okay? And yeah, I would definitely recommend it if you can check it out. I think it does have a remake, which I'm wondering if that remake that like makes improvements or not. I heard it wasn't the best, but I don't know. It maybe that was like slightly exaggerated. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just check this one out however you can, lads. It is a really good game that I would definitely recommend. Okay, boys, the next one I want to talk about is one that I'm just going to talk about very briefly because I'm going to be doing a whole like an entire video on this in the next few days, okay? So I don't want to go into too much detail because I will talk about that later, and that is going to be Persona 5 Royale. So yeah, obviously I've been playing a bit of Persona 5 Dancing, okay, and I really enjoyed that game, and as I was playing it, it just made me want to play Persona 5 again, you know? I haven't played it in like a lot of years. I've played it before, but I decided like I wanted to replay it. When I played it back in the day, I played the base Persona 5, so I've never actually properly played through Royale, so I just wanted to check it out and you know play through it. And obviously we got that Persona 3 remake coming out, so yeah, I just thought now would be a good time to start playing Persona 5 again. What I will say, lads, is Persona 5 is just absolute video game perfection, okay? That's all I'm really gonna say about it. It is an amazing game, and I can't wait to talk about this in a bit more detail. Okay, boys, I've got 2 games left to talk about that I played this month, okay? These next 2 games I will go into proper detail, okay? I know a lot of these games I've already done videos on, so I don't want to go into it in full depth, so it kind of makes this video a little bit pointless in a way. I promise when I do this next month, I'll have more games to talk about in more detail. But anyway, we've got 2 games left to talk about, okay? And the first one I want to talk about is a bit of a weird one. It's going to be Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color. So I guess we'll just start off by talking about like how I even came into contact with this game, okay? So basically, boys, I recently picked up a Game Boy Advance, okay? It's properly backlit, which is cool. I'll just quickly show you guys, just in case you're curious. And if it will show well on... Oh, I haven't got any fucking batteries in it, for fuck's sake, so I can't even show you. But anyway, it's backlit, okay? So it looks really good, and yeah, it's a really cool console, obviously. It's a bit of a classic here. The reason I have a Game Boy Advance, lads, is that basically when I was doing a Tekken video, obviously there was Tekken Advance, alright? So I wanted to play through that, you know, so I could make it in the video. So I pretty much had bought an entire console just for one video game, and I was like, well, I kind of want to make good use out of this Game Boy Advance, you know? So I just thought, well, let me get another game for it, you know, just to play it and make good use of it, because it wasn't cheap, by the way. This cost me like 80 quid on eBay because it's backlit. So I went to my local CEX about a week ago, and I was just going through some of their Game Boy games. They didn't have like a terrible amount of choice, but they had a few, and I saw Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color, and obviously the Game Boy Advance, you can play original Game Boy games as well as Game Boy Color games on it. So I was like, you know what, let's get this game. I've never played Donkey Kong Country, the original, and I just thought, well, let's give it a try. So I bought it and I started playing it, and I was having a good time with it. It was really fun. It's a decent port, to be fair, and yeah, I was having a good time.
I like it, man. I actually know, not even like it. I love it.
But it didn't take long, boys, before this game got ridiculously hard, okay? I mean, I'm talking like one of the hardest games I have ever played hard, okay? I'm sure this game is hard on Super Nintendo, but fucking hell, I think it must be harder on Game Boy Color, okay? This was a challenge. So I've been playing this game for about a week non-stop, lads. I've just been addicted to it, trying to finish it, and I did actually manage to finish it. It was not easy, and like I said, this is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played. It's just like, there's just certain limitations to it, you know, being on the Game Boy Color, and the fact that it's obviously like already a pretty hard game as it is, but yeah, playing it on the Game Boy Color and stuff, it was not easy by any means, but I did manage to play through the entire thing, and yeah, I did enjoy it, but fucking hell was it hard. Like, just off the top of my head, like some of the levels, like the minecart levels were just really hard on the Game Boy Color. Like, you had to be so precise with those jumps, and there's another level where you have to do like these tire jumps, and for whatever reason, it's just really hard to do on a Game Boy. I don't know why. Even the final boss on this game was absolutely kicking my ass, and the bosses are really easy in general, except for this final boss. So it does actually start off pretty easy, but yeah, you actually get to the end of the boss, and there's like a credit roll, and I'm like, okay, I've done it. I was like, yes, yes, get in there. The game is done, I've done it. But that's not the end, it's like fake credits.
Oh my dude, you just got pranked. Bet you didn't see that one coming up.
And that's where the boss actually really starts to get hard at the end there, and yeah, that was a tough one. It took me a little bit of time to figure that out, but I managed to do it, boys. Okay, I managed to finish it, and yeah, I had a really good time with it. So yeah, I mean, if you got a Game Boy, boys, then check it out. It's actually really good. Okay, the boys, the final game I wanted to talk about here is going to be Rocky Legends on the PS2, and the reason I wanted to play this one, lads, is that like a couple of months ago, I decided to play Rocky on the PSP. It was like Rocky Balboa, I think it was, on the PSP. I was just playing that game because I was kind of bored and I just thought it'd be a nice fun one to just have a little go on, and I was surprisingly addicted to that game. I really enjoyed it on the PSP. It was super simple, but I had a really good time with that, okay? And I saw this in the CEX over the Christmas period. I think I was doing some Christmas shopping and I stumbled across it in CEX. It was like £1, and I was like, well, yeah, for £1 I'll grab it. Yeah, I just thought now was the time to play it, so I start playing it, you know, kind of expecting it to be quite similar to that PSP one, and it's completely different, boys. This plays nothing like that PSP one. So as I was playing through it, I'll be honest, lads, I wasn't really enjoying it, okay? I was not having a good time with this. I was getting ready to sell it. I literally told myself, you know what, I've had enough of this game, you know, I just really wasn't enjoying it. I didn't like the way it controlled. I was getting frustrated with it, and I literally took the disc out and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this game, and I was just gonna sell it, you know, I was just gonna put it in my selling pile, and maybe take it into CX and trade it and probably get like 1p for it. But for whatever reason, lads, I just sort of decided to give it a second chance. I was like, you know what, no, let's give it one more try, and if I don't like it the second time, then fine, I'm done with it. But for some reason, I started to really click with it, and I actually started to enjoy myself with it. It's not perfect by any means, but I did enjoy myself with this one after a while. It just took a while. But yeah, this game can be a bit more complicated than it needs to be, and I would rather it be a bit more simple like that PSP one. But once I started to click with it and started to understand it a bit more like mechanically, I started to have a good time with this one. I will say though, lads, even though I did start to enjoy this game a bit more, what I did not enjoy about this game was like the training sessions in this game. They start off alright, you know, but they just get super repetitive, and it gets really boring. You pretty much have to train in order to get your stats up in this game. So if you want to win fights towards the end of this game, you're going to need to increase your stats, okay? So you will have to do training, and it just got super boring after a while, just doing the same training exercises over and over and over again. So yeah, I ended up playing through like the entirety of the career mode. I did it as Rocky Balboa. You can actually, if you want to, play through the career mode as other like fighters from the Rocky series. So you can do it with like Clubber Lang, for example, or Apollo Creed. I just decided to play through the Rocky Balboa career, and yeah, I just thought after that I'd call it a day, and I felt like I got my money's worth. But yeah, overall, boys, a good game, not a perfect game, but I did have fun with it, and I mean, for £1, I definitely got my money's worth. So yeah, that about does it then, lads. That's all the games that I've been playing in January, okay? I do plan to play a lot more games in February, hopefully, if I can find the time for it, so I look forward to that, boys, and I'll be talking about those next month. Other than that, though, lads, let me know in the comments what games you've been playing this month. I'd love to hear about it, and yeah, if you're new here, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next one, alright? Peace.